Hello everybody, welcome to another Rangers Review transfer special as we get a bit of an insight into the latest recruit, Thelo Aasgaard. It brings me great delight to say we're joined by Luton Town writer, journalist, podcaster, James Cunliffe. How's it going, James?
Yeah, all right. You seem to be having a busier summer than some of the Luton are at the moment in terms of incomings anyway.
Yeah. It's been quite a roller coaster ride, hasn't it, for the Hatters in recent years? I mean, the joys of going up to the Premier League and then back-to-back relegations. What's it been like? I guess it's been a pretty rough ride recently.
It's been difficult the last season for sure. I mean, I don't think anybody in the Premier League expected to survive, but we made a good fist of it and only went down on the final day. But the predictions were for Luton to go back up or at least contend for promotion in the Championship season, and it started off badly and rarely got any better than that. So relegated again. Only the fourth or fifth team to ever do that back to back out of the Premier League. So it was a pretty disastrous season really, and you get to the summer and you expect there to be lots of players leaving, and that seems to be the case.
Yeah, unfortunately so for you guys. One of those players who has left is Thelo Aasgaard. He only joined in the winter window from Wigan Athletic for a substantial fee at the time, but he's on his way. From getting him at the time, James, was there a bit of clamour? Was it considered a bit of a coup to bring him in from Wigan at the time?
I think it was more a surprise that not many more teams were in for him than Luton were, because his form for Wigan was pretty impressive. I think he scored 14 goals in that half season in League One, and from the position he plays, that's no mean feat. And I don't think Wigan particularly were pulling up trees themselves, so it shows a decent player he was. So I think in terms of those stats and what he could probably bring, we were quite excited about it at the time. And considering we were knee deep in a relegation battle, we were thinking we needed reinforcements in January. They did arrive. He was one of a number that come in, and the hope was that he could be one of the players that would get us out of it. And until the last game of the season, we were making a very good fist of it and thinking that would be the case. And then the final game of the season was a complete and utter car crash, really. 5-3 at West Brom, 5-1 down at one stage. So relegation was confirmed that day.
Where did he play in the system there? What was his sort of predominant position?
I guess you could say he's a sort of number 10 player. He was given quite a free role. I think the thing is that it's hard to judge him in a Luton shirt, because Luton weren't in any way renowned for being an attacking force in that season, and his job would be to link the play between the midfield and the attack. But the attack was sort of spearheaded by Carlton Morris, who, he finished the season as top scorer, but he was in single figures, and he finished the previous two as top scorer. But he played out pretty much the period that Thelo was at Luton. He was clearly playing with an injury, so he wasn't particularly making those runs that maybe Thelo might be able to pick out. And there weren't that many goals to shout about from the team perspective, really, that Thelo could get involved in. But when he played really well, he looked a quality player. But then sometimes when Luton weren't operating at that end of the football pitch, then he probably went missing, and that's probably more to do with Luton really than it is to Thelo. But he was there at such a short amount of time. It's difficult to say. But I suppose if you look at this form for Wigan, you could say that's a Luton thing rather than a Thelo thing.
Yeah. Was there any highlights? I mean, I guess it's difficult to pick any out, but during, like you say, battling away down at the bottom end of the division, but did he produce any moments of magic that lit up the place?
He ran the show in one particular game, well, certainly in the first half against Sheffield United, who were obviously going for promotion at the time, came down from the Premier League with Luton, and that was at Kenilworth Road. He was by far and away the standout player, bossing the game, and if that's the Thelo you get, you're in for a great season with him, because he was linking the play, and his position sense was great. He was on the ball all the time, looking for openings, and also I suppose what you get with Thelo is that if those openings don't show that he can pass the ball to somebody, he only needs half a yard and then he'll shoot from anywhere.
Okay.
He only scored 2 for Luton, but there was one particular shot when we were playing against Blackburn. I don't know how, but this was symptomatic of the season. We were 1-0 down against Blackburn. They had a player off, so man up, and we still managed to lose against them. But he hit one shot towards the end from distance, hit the underside of the bar, bounced down, just not over the line. And really, if that had gone in, we wouldn't be having this conversation. We'd be a championship team, and he might be still a Luton player.
Yeah. What's his work rate, right? Because Russell Martin's teams, he wants players that run all day. Is his work ethic good?
Oh yeah, no question about that whatsoever. He'll run all day for the team, and he did. He tried, but there just wasn't the players around him, probably of his quality to complement him.
Yeah. Is he someone that likes to take set pieces, James?
You could well see him the way he can strike a ball.
Yeah,
you could see him doing that, but he wasn't the man for taking them too often at Luton.
Yeah, there's a comment coming in here. I've seen a few Luton fans saying this at the time. Scott says, I read somewhere that Luton fans are upset about the Norway gaffer speaking about the need for Aasgaard to play at a higher level. Any truth to that? Well, he did say words to that effect, didn't he? Is that a feeling amongst the Luton fans that maybe just turned his head slightly?
Yeah, I mean, there was clauses in his contract that we've since learned since he moved that probably made that more reality. But I think that you could make a decent case for the fact that if Solbakken had stuck his oar in, then maybe that would be the case. He said very clearly to the Norwegian press that Thelo playing in the 3rd division of English football wouldn't be very conducive, or words to that effect, of being picked for the national side. And obviously they're trying to go for World Cup qualification. If you want to pick holes in that, you'd say Norway haven't qualified for the World Cup since 1998. And they've got Haaland, but it's not a done and dusted thing that they will do. So, but yeah, I mean, like all players, he served his time in League One with Wigan and probably didn't want to go back with Luton. And obviously he had that situation on him. He's made an instant impact for Norway, scoring and assisting in his first game. So, and I think he was called exceptional by Solbakken in another piece of media that Norway put out. So that's football, isn't it? That's the confidence that would have given him, and that's the expectation he would have had, that he wanted to play higher. Probably expected to be in the Championship at least with Luton, and didn't we all?
Yeah. Do you think you can cut it at Rangers, James? It's not exactly League One. There'll be an expectation on them to deliver. The fan base can get on you if you're not having a good game. It can be a great fan base to play for when things are going well. Do you think you'll thrive in that environment?
I think so. It's a larger scale version of what Luton was last season. If Luton are playing well, then the fans will be happy. But more often than not, they won't, and the fans will be on them. But I think the difference will be that obviously, unlike at Luton, you'll be attacking most of the times, winning more games, and being on the front foot, where he was probably cut adrift a bit in many of Luton's games. So I think that it's difficult to say based on his Luton tenure, but if you just look at the way the player plays, he's clearly he's got something about him, just the way he receives the ball, the way he can shift it directions when he's got the ball, and his striking ability, the work rate that you talked about. I think that if you put him in a good side, I think he'll thrive, and that's probably what we'll get at Rangers. Yeah,
I think £3.5 million, and it could be more rising that fee. Do you think that's you get good value for him, James? Although you have been forced to let him leave the club, that Luton have got a decent sort of fee in for him.
Well, I suppose so, but one of the frustrating things is Luton never disclosed their transfer fees, so we're left to sort of speculate on what we bought him for. Rumours of around 3 million to 3.5. So the initial fee probably just recoups that, But they had to put a lot of clauses in his contract to tempt him away from Wigan in the first place. And I suppose the gamble was that he'd help Luton stay up, and Luton would, and be in the Championship. But it hasn't worked out that way. So, that combined with the aforementioned Norway comments, then that probably got him away. So it depends what those fees rise to. Obviously, you're in the Champions League qualify. If you can get into the main tournament, then maybe those rise. And the people doing Luton deals aren't stupid. They probably would have put something in that gets them money in the longer term. It's just whether that he achieves those. I hope he does, to be honest, because to go from League One to potentially the Champions League is dream boy stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. And what about you boys then this season? Are you going to bounce back? Obviously, Matt Bloomfield will be his first proper pre-season. And do you think you can return to the Championship this term?
Well, there's certainly some pundits that seem to think that Luton can bounce straight back. But, two pretty painful relegations on the spin, I think, have left the fan base reeling somewhat. And the summer business so far is kind of it's double-sided, really. It's as expected in terms that we're going to have to get rid of some players to get some in, and they were all on contract, so that's still ongoing. And Reece Burke is a defender just gone to Charlton, who seem to be buying all of Luton's players at the moment, but not a lot of action coming on in the other way. We've got Cal Naismith, obviously former Rangers. He's coming on a free, which is a good deal because he has been great for Luton in both his two spells. And we've got Josh Sowell from Millwall on a free, and just signed a 17-year-old Jake Richards from Exeter, who probably has the potential to maybe fill in where the hole that Telo's left. And he has played a lot of games for Exeter at 17, but he is young, and obviously almost the first words we heard from the club was give him time and don't expect too much at the moment. So we'll see. But not a lot of business has happened so far, and we're sort of 3 weeks away from the season starting now. So in theory, the first team might have enough to challenge for promotion, but it does kind of feel at the moment to many fans, I think, that it's got feelings of last season where they struggled to attract players or get them, and then started for the season badly, and it didn't bode well for the rest. So I hope that's different. I really do, because while I don't think that they'll get relegated again for sure. I think nothing less than a promotion push will satisfy many.
Yeah. Well, we wish you all the very best for the season ahead. It's been great having you on, James. So thank you for giving us a bit of insight into Thelo. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks. All the best for you as well.
There you go, folks. Hopefully you enjoyed that. A bit of insight into Thelo Aasgaard. We'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.